and now they're worth like $2 billion, right? So you know, kind of try to get in. You know, if you can sell it high right now while the market is great, and you have a good team too. I mean, the Rockets are a good team. You know, you can get the most of your money right now, and so maybe it's just a business aspect of it is why it's being sold. As far as the Melo thing, you know, that's still interesting. I don't think that Melo ends up in Houston. I don't think that Melo actually ends up getting traded, just because it's just a lot of smoke, and really there's nothing there to trade. You know, like Houston would have to give up some valuable pieces to get Carmelo, and I don't think that New York wants to even take on a lot of those contracts that Houston wants to pass over to. So I just don't see that happening. I think Houston's just like in the middle right now. Like they're trying to get better. They got it a lot better with Chris Paul at the point guard position. So they got a lot better. But they know that they're kind of like in the middle, and they're trying to figure out how to close the gap on the Warriors and the Spurs. Because I think you have to look at the Spurs too as the number 2 team in the West. And so they're trying to figure out what player they can get, and I think they're just trying to weigh their options right. So.
Yeah, they're in that in between position where it is a little difficult to, you know, try to improve your team without trading away some great assets. That's the position that they're in right now, which is difficult. It's difficult to be in that position because you want to try to make the best decision, try to get the best prospects, you know, try to improve your team, but at the same time, you don't want to let too many people go. So they are in an interesting spot. All right, so let's get to probably one of the biggest stories, if not the biggest story of this week, Kaepernick, Ray Lewis, Shannon Sharpe going off. It's so many different factors to this, but I think the biggest one is if the Ravens or if any team wants to win, Kaepernick is the guy. He's better than, I would say, 90% or even more of the backup quarterbacks, so he could at least be a backup. You got the situation with Miami. It sounds like they're leaning towards Cutler. I apologize to all Miami Dolphins fans because that's not a good look for you guys. You look at the Ravens situation, it's a question mark on what is Joe Flacco's actual, you know, injury status. But at the end of the day, he can help a team win, and this now, it's blackballing. There's no other way around it. As much as you want to say it, as much as how anybody wants to word it, he should be on the team.
I mean, definitely. I mean, I've talked about this numerous times. I've had a bunch of discussions about this, and yeah, Colin Kaepernick is not the greatest quarterback in the league. No, not by all means. I'm not saying that, but the guy wins. He knows how to win. Doesn't turn over the ball. Those are two key things about quarterback play that you need. You need a quarterback who can manage a game, don't turn over the ball. Now, Colin Kaepernick does that. You look at his numbers compared to, I mean, and again, you know, he's better than probably every backup in the league. Let's just be real. He's probably better than every backup in the league. But you can't tell me that a division like the AFC South right now, which is up for grabs with Andrew Luck going down for possibly half of the season. He'll probably be out for 6 or 7 weeks. This is a division that's up for grabs. You can't tell me that a team like Jacksonville, which is loaded with talent, can use Kaepernick over Blake Bortles. I mean, Blake Bortles is terrible. He's terrible.
Been there, done that. Yeah, for sure.
He's terrible. You know, you can't tell me that Kaepernick can't come in and win 10 games with Jacksonville's offense. I mean, they are loaded on offense. Loaded. There's no excuse why they shouldn't win. They're loaded on offense and on defense. There's no excuse, right? You look at, you know, Miami Dolphins, Ryan Tannehill going down. He's probably going to have, they're saying he might have season-ending surgery. This offense, which is a they run the read option offense. They've been running it with Tannehill. They ran it with Tannehill last year because Tannehill is a mobile quarterback. You know, he played wide receiver in college before he moved over to quarterback. So he's a mobile quarterback. They ran this offense. He did not do great. He did okay. This is an offense that's specifically designed for a player like Colin Kaepernick. You give him those receivers. He's never had receivers like that. When you look at the 49ers, I like Anquan Boldin. Anquan Boldin was good. And Michael Crabtree is good too. But Anquan Boldin at his time was not a number one receiver. He was a number two receiver by the time he came to the 49ers. And Crabtree was a number two receiver, boom-lighting as a number one. He never had the speed to be a number one receiver. He had the hands. He's a good route runner, but he never was that player that can go over the top. That's not what you do with Michael Crabtree. And they tried to do that with the Niners. It just didn't work. But you got some receivers in Miami with Landry, with Parker. These dudes can stretch the field. They have speed. That is perfect for the read option, which allows him to take a lot of deep shots. That's Colin Kaepernick's game. He loves to make those, he loves to take those home run hits. And he's really good at it when he gets the opportunity to. And as well as Miami's offensive line is kind of terrible, and his mobility will allow him to kind of negate some of the offensive line play there. So it's like the perfect fit. You gonna tell me you gonna call Cutler? Trash Cutler. Trash.
Beer drinking fat guy Cutler, yeah.
I mean, and here's the thing. This is my thing with Cutler. And Cutler has every tool in the book to be one of the best quarterbacks that has ever played the game. Literally. I mean, this dude got the footwork. He got the arm strength. He can make all the throws. But he just don't win. I don't get it. But it doesn't make any sense. But, it's like when you dissect and you look at him play, it's like, is it decision making? Is it desire to play? Like, what is it? I almost feel like it's the heart to play. Cutler, I gave up on Cutler when Cutler pulled himself out the game in the playoffs, right? And anybody remember that? They were playing the Packers in a championship game. I think it was the NFC championship game. He pulled himself out, and the third string quarterback came in and rallied the team back. They ended up losing anyway. I think they lost 21-14. But he rallied them back because Cutler couldn't do nothing that entire game. And all of a sudden he had like a sprained MCL or something like that. And I'm just like, okay, I understand it's a sprained MCL. I saw Byron Leftwich at one point get carried by his team and play on a torn ACL. He literally got carried by his team and was still making throws. So I don't know. Like, to me, it's like, it's just the heart isn't there. He didn't have the heart to play the game. He didn't have the heart to be a winner. And you're gonna go send him to Miami? Come on, man.
Yeah, I don't get it. I understand Adam Gase. Adam Gase wants to say, well, I've coached Cutler before. I've coached Cutler during one of his best seasons. But again, at the end of the day, he's not a winner. He is not a warrior. He is not going to go out there and put his game on the line. He's not going to go out there and be one of those guys that you can depend on. And that, to me, should eliminate Cutler regardless. Real quick, chat room is buzzing. Once again, everybody, if you want to join in on the chat room, go on your Spreaker.com and log in. Once again, this Two Live Stews Radio, the BS3 Sports Show. So I want to give a real big shout out to, you got Sluggo, JB Jennings, Grego, Brandon Istrick of the Say Less podcast, which is on SoundCloud. We got Cedric Galloway, LA Broadus. He's got a show also on Spreaker, a part of the 3-point conversion. So Brandon says, I knew Cutler wasn't the one when I saw him in the hood at 3 a.m. buying Lucy's from the Chinese spot. Oh, here we go. But yeah, Cutler doesn't deserve a spot. He doesn't even deserve to be in a broadcast booth. He should just be at home chilling. He should be like the president of some type of fraternity at his alma mater. That's what he needs to be doing. This is a guy to me that just doesn't look like he wants to win. To me, that's right. It, plain and simple. All right,
but he got traded for Kyle Orton.
right.
He got traded for Kyle Orton in a pack and some Krispy Kreme donuts. I mean, it was bad, man. Come on, man.
Yeah. Now, let's talk. We got to talk about this Ray Lewis. We got to talk about this guy. His comments. I'm not a guy that's going to call somebody a coon. I'm not a guy that's going to do that because I know Ray Lewis has done different things in the community, in the hood. I know he's done that. But his comments are out of line. If you know the words that came out of his mouth, and Shannon Sharpe, I got to give a congratulations to Shannon Sharpe. What he did in that interview was basically shut down everything that Ray Lewis had to say. He didn't have a comeback. But what his thing is can Kaepernick help us win? That is a yes. That's a 100% yes. If you don't have Flacco, he is the guy that could come in and help you. And then he says, well, I never played with Kaepernick. So what? You never played with half the quarterbacks in the NFL. So what, though? So to me, Ray Lewis has sided with the owner. Plain and simple. That's what he did. He said it. He said it over and over again. Kaepernick is better. Plain and simple. There's no other way around it. And like I said, again, Shannon Sharpe grilled him. But I know you got some thoughts on Ray Lewis, so go ahead and let us have them.
Man. You know, I mean, he disappointed me. He disappointed me years ago. And what I mean by that is when they had they started having the Baltimore riots, and they were protesting against police brutality back then. And Ray Lewis came out and he was talking about the community need to focus on black crime and things like that. And, you know, and a lot of people don't understand how comments like that try to distract from other issues that we have in society, right? Black on black crime is an issue. White on white crime is an issue. Matter of fact, they're approximately about the same percentage that occurs, right? And there's more white people than black people in America, so you can kind of make the connection there, right? There's more white on white crime than black on black crime. But again, you know, those things are not discussed because, you know, you have individuals that try to throw those things out to distract from other issues in society. Here's the thing. Police brutality is an issue because police brutality should not happen. Police brutality against black people should not happen. Why? We pay the police to protect us. That is their job. Their job is not to beat the crap out of us, drag us down the street. That's not their job. Their job is to enforce the law, apprehend somebody, and bring them in so that they may face a trial per our amendment, per the Constitution. That's their job. Their job is not to dictate justice or give out or do out justice as they see fit. And a lot of people don't understand that. So when you talk about police brutality, you have to understand that, like, this is they're not supposed to do this. We trust the police to not do this. And they are destroying their trust there. So that's why it's an issue. That's why it needs to be talked about. Because nobody should have to sit in fear of the police. Now, with that being said, Ray Lewis got on TV and told us that police brutality isn't an issue that the owner should be concerned about. And in my head, I'm like, wow. I'm like, so you mean to tell me that the civil rights that people should have in America isn't something that owners should be concerned about? Yet they are concerned about domestic violence now. They're concerned about, or they wasn't concerned about domestic violence at first because it didn't matter to them as long as they were making money until America spoke out, and then all of a sudden domestic violence was an issue, right? You have people that in NFL that have killed people. You had people in NFL that have had car accidents and killed people in car accidents, you know, Dante Stallworth, drunk driving, things like that. You have all these different issues. There's never been an owner that blackballed those players for that. It was like, hey, I'm not going to sign him because he was drinking and driving and killed 3 people. I'm not going to sign him because he beat up his wife last week. That was never an issue.